day is it?
Hey gang, welcome back to Hey Bill, what day is it? Yes, that much is right. We're celebrating December 4th. That means that the Christmas season is just around the corner and it's time to start preparing for that very special time of year. In my house, nothing says Christmas is almost here better than the aroma of cookies baking in the oven. National Cookie Day on December 4th serves up a sweet treat. The rest of the year, cookies are just cookies. Although not bad, I don't remember having a bad cookie, but now all around the world, people are beginning to warm up their ovens for Christmas baking. Cookie! Even the sound of the word makes my mouth water, and my bathroom scale go up 5 pounds. I visited the Netherlands, and it's a beautiful place. There really are windmills and tulips everywhere, but I personally am most thankful for the fact that we can thank the Dutch for their word cookie, meaning little cake. It obviously is the word that was the basis for our American word cookie. It's different than what we usually consider cookies, but like I said, there's no such thing as a bad cookie. Hard cookie-like wafers have existed for as long as baking has been documented. Not surprisingly, they traveled well too. Maybe that's where we developed the custom of baking cookies and sending them as presents to family and friends. However, they were usually not sweet enough to be considered cookies by modern-day standards. No, today we mainly picture cookies as being soft and chewy and not hard and crumbly. The first cookies are thought to be little test cakes that bakers used to test the oven temperature in Persia in the 7th century. Persia, now Iran, was one of the first countries to actually cultivate cane sugar and to incorporate its special flavor. They were made with chickpea flour, sugar, and oil, and flavored with rosewater, cardamom, and pistachios. Their luxurious cakes and pastries in the large and small versions were soon well known in the Persian Empire. These ancient cookies can still be bought today. They're called shirini nokdochi. My Persian isn't very good, but someone told me that it means chickpea cookie. What is a cookie or what is a cake? As long as it tastes good, I guess it doesn't matter. It might matter if you were Italian because they claim to have baked the oldest real cookie. It originated in the midsection of Italy in the Italian village of Colculo in the Italian region of Abruzzo. History and legend tell us that many years ago their village was overrun with snakes, and when they were run out of town, the people of the village celebrated with the Festival of the Snakes. They baked and ate traditional Italian waffle cookies made from flour, eggs, butter, sugar, and usually some anise flavoring. They called it pizzelle. The name comes from the Italian word pizze, which means round and flat. Sort of reminds me of another word for something delicious that is round and flat in Italian. Anyway, who wouldn't want to eat a type of biscuit that's shaped like a pizza, yet very sweet and goes great with ice cream and whatnot? Only someone who doesn't like fun, that's who. As the Muslim conquest of Europe began, the cookie eventually arrived in Spain, a predominantly Catholic country, especially during the Christmas holidays. 2 traditional Spanish shortbreads, mantecados and polvorones, were especially popular. A number of years later, when no one expected it, these cookies played a vital part during a period of great religious and political turmoil. What didn't they expect? It was the Spanish Inquisition. And no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. While both shortbread cookies were considered holiday treats, only one would save you from the Inquisition torturers. You see, one of these cookies was made using pork fat. The leaders of the Inquisition were able to pick out the Jews and Muslims because their religion forbid them from eating anything with pork. Cookies were common at all levels of society throughout Europe by the 14th century, from the royal cuisine to the street vendors. Cookies arrived in America in the 17th century, along with everything else. Macaroons and gingerbread cookies were among the popular early American cookies. In most English-speaking countries outside of North America, the most common word for cookie is biscuit. In some regions, both terms, cookies and biscuits, are used. But we all know what biscuits are. They're usually served with white gravy, and I don't think I've ever had a cookie that would have been good with gravy. So there you have it. If you're going to have a biscuit that purports to be a cookie, you'd better serve it with French fries called chips and warm beer, like where they come from. Cookies are classified into different categories, with the most common ones being bar cookies, drop cookies, filled cookies, molded cookies, no-bake cookies, pressed cookies, and refrigerator cookies. Let's review these one by one. First are the bar cookies. Wrong, try again. They're not something you get in a bar when you drop in for a drink. Wrong again. No, they're not something you play with on a playground. Let's give it one more try. No, that's not it either. They're not something you can only find in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Yes, that's it. Bar cookies are made from a batter or stiff dough that is poured or pressed into a baking pan or baking dish, then baked, cooled, and cut into bars, squares, or diamonds. Bars can be single-layered, like brownies, or multi-layered, with cake-like or chewy textures. Then there's drop cookies, which are made from dropping batter from a spoon onto a cookie sheet for baking. The best examples are the good old classics of chocolate chip or Toll House cookies, oatmeal raisin cookies, or snickerdoodles. There are a lot of others, but those are my personal favorites. I mentioned filled cookies. Filled cookies are made from a rolled cookie dough filled with a fruit, jam, or confectionery filling before baking. Also called cookie cups or stuffed cookies, these treats take different forms. Some are like tiny pouches or pockets, similar to dumplings or ravioli, in which the dough is encased around the filling and the edges are crimped. Others, like pecan tossies, are prepared as tiny tarts in miniature muffin tins. These cookies have become favorites because they combine the standard cookie, the dough, with a special filling, offering two treats in one. Thumbprint cookies are a commonly recognized cookie with filling, as are Hamantash, a three-cornered, filled pocket pastry cookie, a traditional Jewish favorite. Then we have molded cookies. No, these aren't cookies that have become green and furry with age. That would be yucky. These are molded cookies, a cookie that has been made from a stiff dough that is formed by hand into little balls, crescents, canes, or other shapes before being placed on a baking sheet, and many times decorated. They may be less fancy, but good old peanut butter cookies are popular examples of molded cookies, as are biscotti. Another common cookie is the no-bake cookie. No-bakes became popular in the 50s with millions of people growing up loving them. No-bakes are in a class of desserts that are not baked in the oven. Duh! The melt-in-your-mouth creaminess of a traditional no-bake cookie is a fudgy combination of hearty oats, creamy nut butters, cocoa, sugar, milk, and real butter. My wife calls them minute cookies because that's all they have to cook for. But they're also known as preacher cookies. The reason they're called preacher cookies is because years ago, when preachers made a practice of calling on members of their congregation at home, usually unexpectedly, the cookies were a great treat that ladies could prepare quickly with ingredients that they most always had in their kitchens. As a preacher, I've had lots of cookies in people's homes, but never no-bakes. Pressed cookies are typically cookies that are made through the use of a cookie gun are a similar device that allows cookie dough to be pressed through an extruding nozzle onto a baking sheet. These kinds of cookies often come in shapes and patterns and can be the size of drop cookies or prepared in longer strips or tubes of dough before baking. While easily made year-round, pressed cookies are often prepared for holidays or other celebratory occasions, often due to the simplicity of making the cookies into festive shapes and designs. Refrigerator cookies are a type of cookie in which the dough is prepared, rolled into a log shape, and refrigerated until the dough is firm. The dough can then be removed from the refrigerator and sliced into individual pieces, which are then baked. The remaining dough is returned to the refrigerator until it's needed. Perfect for those who want fresh, warm cookies at a moment's notice. As you all know, I always like to tie the topic for the day back to a Bible lesson. This week is no exception. However, cookies, as such, are not mentioned in the Bible. There is something similar, however. In the book of Exodus, the account of the children of Israel as they wandered in the wilderness, they began to complain that they had no food to eat. So God provided something for them. In Exodus 16, it says, "In the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, 'What is it?' For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, 'It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat.' The people of Israel called the bread manna, which in Hebrew means, 'What is it?' It was white like coriander seed and tasted like wafers made with honey." I'm Bill Wasore, and this is Hey Bill, What Day Is It? As far as I'm concerned, that is a great description of a cookie. That's the kind of great God we have. They had nothing to eat, and He gave them cookies. It just doesn't get much better than that. Let's see, boy, those sure do look good. Yep. Now, go bake some cookies, share them with someone, and have a triumphant day. Now, where should I start?